Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Sammy, United People's TV, ready to kick off another week here on United People's TV. And no doubt, it's going to be another busy week as far as transfers go. We're going to be speaking about the latest on Gyokeres, which is clearly a conversation that we need to have. Now, I didn't expect that a couple of weeks ago, but here we are. We're going to be speaking about the latest on Mbeumo, Garnacho sale, Rashford, Hojlund and Inter, Bruno winning the Nations League and Dalot as well. We'll run through everything from the weekend. I could have done a video on Garnacho yesterday, I'll be totally honest. But anyway, we're going to have a conversation here this morning. Get involved in the chat. You know the drill by now. There's going to be lots of new faces in here and lots of regulars. I'll say hello to everyone. We had a good weekend. What did you get up to? A little chill. I was hoping we were going to get an Mbeumo here we go yesterday, but I think it's going to come. I know that maybe you're getting a little bit impatient. You want it now, but it's still only the 9th of June, people. It's still only the 9th of June. Let's see who's here and where you're watching from. Carl, good morning to you. Alex, good morning to you. Josh, you're there as well. And Stephanie, all the mods, hopefully keeping the chat as civil as possible. Matt, you're there as well. Rapid, we've got Ines Fushi, Ricky Thompson, Les, we've got Caleb, Stu, we've got Freddie. And let's say hello to some non-members as well. We've got Shark's Bum. It's an interesting news name. Chris, Dennis, good morning to you as well. United fan forever, Blue Waters. Everyone get involved in the chat. Fire in your comments. I'll try and engage with as many of you as I possibly can. But I want to kick off the show here by saying a big congratulations to Portugal yesterday, winning the Nations League. I've just got absolutely no desire to watch football right now. I watched a bit of it yesterday. I definitely didn't watch extra time. I was like, there's absolutely no way I'm watching that. You know what I'm annoyed about? The fact that I didn't bloody watch the Alcaraz semi-final. I forgot about it. Because I watched the extended highlights, but I was a bit annoyed I missed that. Congratulations to Portugal. There's Bruno holding the trophy yesterday. There's Dalot holding the trophy as well. 2 United players, and of course a former United player in Ronaldo who burst into tears when Portugal won. This is a class photo as well. Dalot and Ronaldo, they're like the best of mates. But I'm most happy for our captain, man. I'm most happy for Bruno. Random question here to kick off the show, right? What do you expect from Bruno this season coming up now? Last season, nobody wants to speak about it. Like you can speak about how well Bruno performed in the second half of the season, which he did after Roy Keane slagged him off. But ultimately, and I don't care about anything that happened last season. We finished 15th. We lost the Europa League final. Why am I going to brag about anything? And the same will go for Bruno. He won't want to look back on the last season. What do you expect from him? He was putting in... I can't even remember how many goals or assists he ended on last season. Was it 19 goals? I think it was a bit thereabouts. So at the evening, you're saying 60 goal involvements. Jonathan, you're saying 15 goals. Zach, you're saying just be Bruno. Dr. Tosh, you're saying leadership. 40 goals or assists. Same, more of the same. I think I would expect more of the same from Bruno from next season. I really would. Probably, I think that's fair. 40 goal contributions, whether that's goals or assists. I think I would just expect Bruno to do pretty much what he's been doing every season since he joined United. Obviously to varying levels, but last season was fantastic. Anyway, that's sort of a little bit of a random one. Chandy, what else are you saying down there? This I expect is going to be his best season in a United shirt. I hope so. And I think the thing I'm most interested to find out is what his actual position is going to be. It strikes me if the Mbeumo deal does indeed follow Cunha, which it really does look like it's going to. Bruno's going to be more of a permanent fixture in central midfield. Last season, what you saw sometimes was Bruno starting higher up and then Ugarte going off and Bruno dropping deeper for the last 30 minutes of games. I think you'll see Bruno just starting central midfield a lot more. Now, before we get into the United transfer news, I want to quickly just mention this, because that is, I did not expect Wirtz to go for that much. Am I just being ignorant? Is that how much Wirtz is worth? Is that like the going rate? I think I've said this enough times on this channel. I've got no idea, absolutely no idea, how to judge the value of a football player anymore. I really don't. No idea how much anybody's worth. all the numbers sound like fantastical and delusional, really, but that's just kind of how much they go for. But 113 mil is the sort of signing where it just has to work out immediately. King Cantona, I think we're all down there. Of course, we all want Wirtz to flop, but realistically, it's probably going to be a very good signing for a Liverpool team which already won the league last season and has already now signed 2 fullbacks that they needed to, and they're probably going to be going after a striker. No real word about what striker. I think Hugo Ekitike is the only striker they've really conceivably been linked with, but it just feels that's a nutty amount of money. This shows how much Bruno is worth. Of course, Wirtz has got his whole career ahead of him, and that's part and parcel. Again, this is how football players are valued now. You don't just pay for how good they are now. You pay for what could happen in their career in the years coming, and the selling club wants a slice of that pie which hasn't been cooked yet. That's just the way transfers work these days. Emmanuel is saying happy, super happy for Bruno Fernandes. As am I, man. As am I. I need to see him lifting the big pots, man. I really, really do. Anyway, one final little thing here. Say big congratulations to Nick Cox, who has been given his UEFA Pro license. Of course, Nick Cox is the director of United's academy. And he's done a fantastic job at United over these last few years. As unsuccessful as we have been in terms of first team and the turmoil at our football club, the academy has been a big success. From last year, the under 18s winning the treble. We kind of missed out this season, just short. Now Adam Lawrence has left. He's our under 18s coach. He hasn't actually been replaced yet. I wonder who they'll replace him with. Whether it will be an internal appointment, I don't quite know. But anyway, congratulations to Nick Cox. All right, let's go on with the show then. What else are you saying down here? You heard we could be after Donnarumma. Hey, Matt, I saw those, but they're whiffy at best. That's all they are right now. Those links are very, very tentative. So, I mean, look, he's on the whiteboard here. So if you go to the whiteboard, big up the whiteboard, you can see Donnarumma's been added to the list, but it's not particularly credible right now. It's just another name on the list of goalkeepers that have been linked with us. How many goalkeepers on there? Martinez, Milinkovic-Savic, Lemons, Hermansen, Verbruggen, Garcia, Trafford, Donnarumma. That's 8 goalkeepers there. You kind of get the point. At this moment in time, I wouldn't really look any further than the Donnarumma reports are because they're just, seems unlikely. Volpez, you're saying, have you got the PO box address yet? I rang Royal Mail. I was on bloody hold for like 40 minutes on Friday. Turns out they've got a delay in their system. Good boys. So at some point in the next week, I should be getting an email from Royal Mail which has the address of the PO box. And as soon as I get that, I'll bring it to you. I'll pin it as the comment on the channel. I'll leave it in the description on the channel. And then you can all send your stuff in and we can get this. I'm so excited across the course of this season. Hopefully, let's say when we... One second here. I can see my camera's a bit wonky. It's a bit annoying. It's a little bit better. My nieces were in the studio. I was showing them around at the weekend. It's always a bit dangerous when you let that happen. I think they were just touching stuff. I hope at the end of the season when we look up at this, it's just full of your stuff. And you can't see it here, but it goes round on 3 walls. So we'll fill all these walls up and I'll share photos and videos and updates of that in the members chat on Discord. We'll speak about Sancho. We'll speak about sales a little bit later in the show. Let's get cracking and speak about signings because it really has been a faster start to the window than anybody expected with the Cunha situation and the Mbeumo talk last week. David Ornstein dropped the bomb. And I think probably, Mbeumo was on my dream transfer list. I just didn't really think that United would be able to do that. And then Ornstein dropped that bomb. And we were waiting over the weekend for the here we go. To summarise how the situation has gone, last week, United's interest was, last week, Mbeumo, it was confirmed that he wanted to join United. Then I think the next day or a day after that, United submitted their first bid, £45 million plus 10 million in add-ons, which Brentford didn't accept. And we're all waiting for the second bid to go in. And on Friday, there were reports that United had submitted a second bid. Came from, I believe, believe it was Rob Dawson from ESPN, and then Ben Jacobs, saying that a second bid over 60 million for Brian Mbeumo, remember that, has been submitted. I didn't do a video on it because, well, there wasn't enough, in my opinion. Reliable journalists confirming that the bid had gone in. Now you got James Duggan from the Telegraph. You can see this, the date on that. That's Friday at 5 p.m. saying that no second bid has actually gone in yet. And that's the latest and the last that we've heard on it. Nothing really happened on Saturday. Nothing really happened on Sunday. So as it stands, and we can go to the active transfer whiteboard here, that's where we're at. You got reports suggesting that the wages are going to be around the 150k as a base, rising to 200 with bonuses. And we had a conversation, was it last week, about the wages that we think that he's going to be on? And I said 150 is something that I feel is fair. And if it rises to 200k with bonuses, I don't care about that, man. We've all spoken about this so often on this channel now, about getting contracts in with players that are incentive-based. Now, I think Mbeumo, the quality that he is, the immediate Premier League quality, and the fact that we're signing him from a Premier League team, 150 is a very fair base salary. If that goes up to 200k, that means that he's been a success. That means United have won things. That means United have been a success. Totally fine with that. All contracts at United should really be heavily incentive-based. Now, United won't be able to get away with, we'll give you a 50k basic salary that could rise to 200 with... No, they won't be able to do that. But I'm fine with that. But as it stands, there's no second bid that's gone in just yet. So hopefully at some point in the next few days, we'll be here with a here we go or an on-steam bomb. Stevie saying bonus-heavy wages is what we need. I think so. Any confirmation regarding Mbeumo? I'm just giving you the latest that we actually know about. Oh, look at that. Chelsea signing players from clubs that they own. Isn't that great? What else is he saying down here? We need to sign the Italian defender Diego Coppola. I'm pretty sure you're talking about the one that Brighton are about to sign. Ravi saying I can understand the delays about this. A lot going on at Brentford right now. Thomas Frank on his way to Spurs. Ten Hag's already signed Fleck and their goalkeeper. And now Mbeumo. Yeah, there is a lot going on at Brentford. Let's see. I would love this to be done as soon as possible, just like you, right? But as it stands, no second bid has gone in just yet. I wouldn't say this is like something to panic about. It's just that we all want things to be done immediately. But it is still the 9th of June. It is still the 9th of June. I think someone asking down there, pause, when does the first transfer window close? I've got the dates in my calendar here. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, I've got it down as tomorrow. Tuesday the 10th. And that's the first transfer window because there's going to be 2 transfer windows this summer. When does the actual proper transfer window open? Is it the 16th of June? That's what I've got down. Let me have a look at this. I've got it down in my calendar, but it might be wrong. When does the transfer window open? Oh, God. When does the transfer window open? Right. Let's run through this. Summer transfer window. Did the Premier League ins and outs. There you go. Transfer window is open early between Sunday, June the 1st and Tuesday the 10th, so it closes tomorrow, and then it reopens again on the 16th of June. So there's only 6 days where it's closed. It's just a weird one. There was an extra transfer window added so clubs who were competing in the Club World Cup could sign players. It's mad that when you think it really. They've literally just created a brand new transfer window just so clubs in this new competition that FIFA launched could sign players. You just literally make rules up. Make rules up. Yeah, we've got the fresh fade. We're prepped for the week. Dr. Tosh, 2 windows, as I said. First window is purely for the Club World Cup. So anybody competing in that could sign their players. Man, that competition. They're getting so much dosh for that competition. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Jonah, you're saying... We got to have a little quick comment on this. And then we're going to be having a Gyokeres chat, all right? So you definitely want to stay for that one. Someone down there, Jonah, saying that this is the 48th. Don't know whether that's right or wrong. But Chelsea got a lot of players. Signing Mamadou Sarr, yeah, again with their 8 bloody year contracts. They're just ridiculous. Honestly, you got to have a penny for the thoughts of Giovanni Kenda and the fact that he's joined Chelsea. That's just such an ill-advised transfer move for a player who, at this point in his career, is gonna be wanting to play every single week and develop. Who else is it that they're signing a right wing? Is it Gittens from Dortmund? And they've already got bloody loads of them. And where does he play? I don't know where Mamadou Sarr plays. I think he's a winger. Not quite sure. Either way, another one. Chelsea fans must be completely numb to the excitement that you get with the transfer signing now. They must just go, all right. Well, it's another one. Oh, here's another 40 mil signing. Don't care. Don't matter. Lar, you're saying, wait, I thought contracts can no longer exceed 5 years. No, there's 2 things that go on there. Amortization can no longer exceed 5 years. So while they can give him as long a contract as he wants to sign, really, they can't spread the payments of Mamadou Sarr over an 8-year period. The most you can do is spread it over a 5-year period. Gittins is left wing. Oh no, left wing, right wing. I don't really care. Like Chelsea have got like 400 bloody signings, man. It's nuts. It's nuts. I do hate Chelsea. Fundamentally hate that football club. And you know that. Right, let's speak about this man, because I think this is probably going to be the conversation that United fans are most excited about this summer, I think. Is that fair? The idea that... What signing are you... Okay, I'll ask the floor. What position are you most excited for United to sign a player in? Because I'd be surprised if anybody said anything about a striker. I'm really excited to see the Premier League proven quality of Cunha and hopefully Mbeumo and the goals that they would bring. But the idea of a new focal point for United's attack is... It kind of feels like everything, really. As much as Cunha would bring goals, as much as Mbeumo would bring goals, as much as a new goalkeeper would definitely save United more points. I'm excited about that, but I don't really get excited about clean sheets. I'll be totally honest. It's a good thing, yeah, I know it. You know, goals win games, defence win titles, all that jazz. I know. But goals are where you get your excitement and your adrenaline rush in a football game. That's what I think so anyway. Someone saying down there, goalkeeper is a +1 for me. Goalkeeper and striker down there. Central midfielder, man. A little bit, I wouldn't say I'm concerned at the fact that we haven't really heard too much about a central midfielder just yet. But I hope we do soon. Ashok, thank you for gifting 5 memberships down there. I see you. And Smee. Gift. What is that? Some sort of hippo super sticker. I don't know what that is. Looks pretty good though. C. Billington saying Bruno linking up with the top goal scorer is exciting. Stephen saying a goalkeeper and a top number 9 are 2 most important signings of the summer. I'll speak about Onana and the goalkeepers we've been linked with, and there's a couple more now that we can have a conversation about. But I did this video on Friday saying that that's the wrong one. It feels like the Gyokeres conversation, the momentum shifted a little bit. And that's why I did that video on Friday. I was speaking about how, kind of prior to last week, I didn't think there was any chance. I really didn't. I did my video before the Europa League final saying United need to win this in order to have any chance of signing Gyokeres. And what's transpired since, that's why I ran through 3 points in that video. I ran through the fact that I thought actually just not having Champions League football would put him off. And if that's not a problem, which some reports are suggesting, okay, that's good. I thought the finances would have absolutely no chance. And then we found out last week about the fact that United's, if you want to go and check that out, I don't need to run through it all again, but United's PSR accounting is not done on the accounts of Manchester United PLC, but Red Football Limited, a subsidiary in the corporate accounting structure of United. And actually, their books are fine. Significantly less losses on those books. So actually, United have more room, money-wise, to manoeuvre. Although, and I may as well bring this conversation in now, I was going to mention this later, United's latest financials were released on Friday. And while the overall look was more positive, United's cash reserves actually went down 20 million, despite the fact that Jim Ratcliffe has put in 238 million in cash since he took over, well, part owner. That's how much of Jim Ratcliffe's money has been sort of funneled into other areas of the business. The fact that he's put in 238 million and our cash reserves compared to the last quarter actually went down 20 because probably we spent some money on Dorgu and I don't really know where else. Either way, United's finances are better than we thought, but we need cash, and that's why we'll speak about sales next. But Gyokeres, this is the latest on Gyokeres, right? United have held more talks. This is from Fabrizio Romano writing a column for Give Me Sport, saying, meanwhile, United should not be considered out of the race to sign Gyokeres. At least at this stage of the summer window, sources revealed that United had more contacts with all parties in the Gyokeres deal this week to understand how the situation is developing. It means United remain in the race and are currently informed on every step of the story, as they're also aware of Italian clubs exploring the situation for Gyokeres. That's the first time we've heard that, or the first time I've heard that. If there's Italian clubs linked with a move for Gyokeres, I imagine Inter will be one of them. I don't know what Milan's situation is up front. Napoli, well, you could probably see a situation where Napoli sell Osimhen and then bring Gyokeres in. What other Italian clubs? Juve, they've just got Kolo Muani on loan. I imagine Vlahovic will leave. I suppose probably quite a lot of the Italian clubs could be in for him. Either way, this is what the suggestion is. United have held more talks, are being informed on every movement when it comes to Gyokeres. It doesn't really feel like there's... It doesn't, as it stands anyway, famous last words from Sam. It doesn't really feel like there's any links with any other Premier League clubs for Gyokeres. So if he was to move to the Premier League, it looks like it would be Manchester United. But there are links with other clubs. We just spoke there about Fabrizio Romano's reports on Italian clubs. So let's see what happens. As it stands, he's down on the whiteboard here as a number 2. United have sort of held the further talks, but it's not really gone any further than that. Clearly, we're interested in signing him. Mr. Smith saying you could see him at Napoli. Maybe. They're going to have an ambitious window. Conte signed a new deal. They've got the money from Kvaratskhelia. They will sell Osimhen. I'll speak about Osimhen next. They're going to have money to spend, and they've just won the league. And I think they're going to be getting De Bruyne on a free. Pretty decent. What else is saying down here? Someone sent a super chat. Lang saying Gyokeres is a good-looking bloke. Nice. Signing him and giving him number 9 will have a great commercial impact. What? Because if he was ugly, you never sign him. Brada and Co should be motivated by that. What'd you give him at? Right. Yeah, Gyokeres going to give him a strong 8 out of 10. Oh, yeah. He's hot. Yeah, let's sign him. Who we linked with? Nah, he's but ugly. Nah, can't sign it. He's a really good footballer. Nah, dude's ugly, man. Well, never mind. Can't sign uglies. I like to think that is part of the conversation. Has he got a good beard? Yeah, go on in. Brian Mbeumo. Yeah, he's bald, though. Don't mind, he's got a beard. He's got a good beard. Put him on there. Cunha. Yeah, nice teeth. Come on then, sign him up. Hot or not, as United's transfer whiteboard goes. Should we talk about how good they are as footballers? Nah, man, doesn't matter. How good do they look naked? That's what we really need to know. Anyway, it's definitely one to watch. It's one that I'm excited about. Why would you not be? Whether you're speaking about Gyokeres, whether you're speaking about Osimhen, or what other strikers we've been linked with. Let's have a quick look. Liam Delap, of course, he's moved somewhere else. You've got Gyokeres, you've got Osimhen, you've got Mateta. Saw the Mateta stories last week. I think they were I've seen a price of 35 million. being linked with Mateta, which just sounds underpriced. I'd just be surprised if he was to leave Palace for 35 mil. I don't think it'll be a bad signing, by the way. But I don't think he'll go for that cheap. Other ones, Jonathan David. Again, he was linked with a free move transfer to Napoli. Nothing really much has happened since. Mitrovic. Nah. Next. Gonzalo Ramos. Sesko. We've been linked with Jackson as well. Calvert-Lewin. Ekitike. Schick. Samu. Strikers galore. Just striker links absolutely everywhere. But this is the man that I'm personally most excited about. I think you probably get 90+% of United fans would either choose Gyokeres or Osimhen as their first choice. There will be some curveballs for different ones, sure. But I think the overwhelming majority of United fans would choose Gyokeres or Osimhen, whichever one you decide. Let's have a look now, actually. I think I've already done this poll before, but I'd be interested to know if anything's changed. Who would you choose? Osimhen or Gyokeres? And you know what? My lunchtime video today is going to be... It's just going to be on... the start of United's window, which I've already covered last week, so I'm not going to repeat that video. But it's just the fact that if you had asked me after the Europa League final what my expectations were this summer, they wouldn't have been very optimistic. I'll be totally honest, they wouldn't have been very optimistic. But a lot has changed in these couple of weeks. A lot has changed. Now, Gyokeres is one name on the list, and of course the second name on that list, which I've just put into the poll, is this man here. And there's been some developments with him, because with Osimhen, it's always felt like he's going to move to Saudi, right? It's felt like that for a while. And last week, he's like, oh, the deal is going forward, the deal's collapsed, the deal's going forward, the deal's collapsed. And the latest from Fabrizio now is that he's just completely rejected Al Hilal. Despite the agreement between Al Hilal and Napoli for the €75 million fee, that's his release clause, and we know that. Osimhen has said no to the Saudi Pro League. Galatasaray will insist to sign him, but the race is open. So, honestly, I don't think... I mean, it is as well. If money was the ultimate driver, Osimhen would have moved. Because there's not going to be any club in Europe that is even willing to probably offer half of what Al Hilal would have offered. I don't know what the actual wages were in the end, but it was somewhere north of 500, 600,000. Osimhen is a money man, but not to the extent where, well, I don't know. I mean, imagine if they offered him $1 million a week, he'd be like, sweet, I've no idea. What's your take on the mentality, I suppose, of Osimhen? What do you think is driving him? The only reason that he joined Galatasaray was because, remember what happened last summer? Well, I think it was on deadline day as well, wasn't it? Agreed a deal to move to Chelsea. Chelsea and Napoli agreed a deal. But he rejected their wages. And then the Turkish transfer window was open. And nowhere else was. So Galatasaray gave him a way out. He went to Galatasaray, scored bags and bags of goals, won a Turkish league. And here we are again. I can't imagine that he'd want to stay at Galatasaray. But yeah, what do you think Osimhen wants this summer is the question I'm asking you down here. Tomo, I know that's correct, but this is obviously just impossible. He wants Saudi money in Europe. Of course, ultimately, that's exactly what he wants, but you're not going to get that, so you're going to have to compromise. Where does the compromise come for Osimhen? Is he a mercenary chasing the money? Is he somebody who does have the ambition, and that's what's holding him in Europe? I don't quite know. Jude saying, do you think Gyokeres is the right striker for United? He's not actually a box striker. He always drifts from the wing. He's somebody who can stay central and stretch the line out, man. He can be that focal point, and he's done that for Sporting. I think if you want him to drift wide, he will drift wide. If you want him to hold central, he will hold central. I think Gyokeres would be fantastic. I think Osimhen, was it last week? I think it was. Mark Hojlund saying that the profile of Osimhen wouldn't suit what United need. I'm like, how have you figured that one out? Osimhen would be an excellent signing in terms of his footballing ability. Manny is saying Osimhen plays for Osimhen, turns down 800k per week in Saudi. Have we not learned? I just don't feel that can purely be from a money perspective, because if money was the driver, then he would have accepted. So at least part of it has to be ambition. Because it would be crap if Osimhen, all the talent that he had at Napoli, remember that summer, what was it, 120 million Napoli wanted? They were just getting greedy. They priced him out of a move, and then, yeah, that's backfired miserably. Lesson learned for them. I don't think it... For him to then go to Galatasaray for a year and then go to Saudi would be... Yeah, it's bad. Terezi saying his ego is his driver. European football more competitive than Saudi? Obviously. Can you imagine him going to Chelsea? I suppose Chelsea will be back in for him, won't they? And they can seemingly pay as much as they want, and they don't really care. Well, I think we know why, because we saw the PSR graph last week that shows the clubs that are most at risk of breaching it. Villa down there right at the bottom, and Chelsea right at the top. They can spend 300 mil this summer and they won't be in breach because they've been able to get away with selling their hotel inside there and selling their women's club as well to boost their numbers. Steve saying, Osimhen, I get the feeling he is a nightmare to manage, or he would be in a top league. I haven't really seen or heard too much about that. When it comes to the whole falling out with Napoli, I feel like that was far more on Napoli's side. And then he got frozen out by the club and the club's president, and then they signed Lukaku, and then they took his shirt number off him, and it all just got a bit ugly. Red Sparrow saying he's got a bit of a red flag. Andy saying, you think he wants good football, but knows it's probably his last contract. How old is he? 27? '26, 27 in December. Not too far off. Either way, it's going to be one to watch. Because if Osimhen now is not going to Saudi clubs, then what European clubs? Okay, I'll ask that as in the chat. What European clubs do you expect to be in for Osimhen this summer? All right, I'll read them out. Check the poll out. We've got 1,300 votes are in, and 78% of you are saying that you would choose Gyokeres over Osimhen. So a big, heavy favourite in Gyokeres. But nearly a quarter of you want Osimhen as well. Someone's saying Osimhen's more proven than Gyokeres. He's a game changer. I'll be honest. They're both goal scorers, man. Manny's saying, I will eat my hat and stream it live if we get Gyokeres. My mate is we will get a low-budget striker that will be perfect for Amrim. Amrim has the 10s now. I've already said this. If I was to choose where I would say United's most important signing is next, it's midfield or it's goalkeeper. It's not striker. Because we have signed goals. It will be interesting to see. It really will. Let me see what you're saying down there. Some of you think Chelsea down there, maybe PSG. Osimhen and PSG? Who is their striker? They played Barcola, they played Kvaratskhelia, they played Dembele. They kind of played with like wingers in... Wasn't like more like a fluid, flexible front three. I think so. Zico, where have you been all weekend? It's shocking, really, isn't it? I didn't do a video. I was going to do a video yesterday on the Garnacho situation. I'm going to be speaking about sales next. But there wasn't really anything new, man. There wasn't really anything new. Porto, someone else saying down there. 78% of you are deluding. Gonzalo Ramos, he didn't play much, did he? That was an odd signing. Either way, Osimhen's on the market. Gyokeres on the market. Osimhen's not going to Saudi clubs. And United are definitely interested in signing Gyokeres. It's one to watch, and I'll bring you any latest updates as and when they happen. If I can ask you now, ladies and gents, please do drop a like on the video. And if you are new to United People's TV, make sure you subscribe. I'm here Monday to Friday live every single day at 10 a.m. covering all the United news in as much detail as I possibly can. We've got the transfer whiteboards here that I update every single... Big up to Steve, actually. Helps me update these every single day to keep you up to date with the news that you can trust. Because it's a summer window. There's nonsense everywhere. We try and wade through it all and make it easy for you to understand what's actually going on. All right? Now, let's move on. Franco Mastantuono, the 17-year-old from River Plate, we were linked with heavily this summer. And we got the here we go over the weekend for his move to Real Madrid. $45 million. Whew. It's a big old risk for a 17-year-old from South America. Last summer, Real Madrid wanted Lenny Yoro. United went, sod that. We went over the top. We played big, and I'm glad we took that risk. Mastantuono would have been a risk, and it would have been a big part of the budget as well. And we've decided not to, I suppose, go forward with it. And by the sound of it, he wanted Real Madrid anyway. So we might have been wasting our time. So we're not going to be signing Mastantuono. Let's see if that's a wonder kid worth taking the punt on. They don't always work out. Vitor Roque at Barcelona is a good example of that. But Mastantuono won't be coming to United. And he's saying, question, how many people would care if we gave Osimhen 350k a week, but he fired us into the top 4? Look, dude, Captain Hindsight, if you were to look back on it, it'd be like, oh, it's fine. But ultimately, if it does not work, and there's a chance it could, then it leaves us in the exact same situation that we have been trying to get ourselves out of. So in that sense, it will be a dumb risk to take. You might be right. It might end up firing us to the top 4. But if it doesn't, then it sets us back again. And that's the risk. And you can come with that if you want. But these are the exact contracts that United fans have been so annoyed about. And even if you are right and he does fire us into the top 4, yeah, great, that would be good. But if it doesn't work out, then it really might screw United with all the changes that we're trying to make. Now, let's move on to something which is really equally as important. I'm going to go straight down 50-50 in terms of what's more important this summer, sales or signings. And sales, right? Let's speak about Hojlund. Let's speak about Hojlund. And this is coming from the Telegraph over the weekend, saying that Inter Milan are targeting 40 million rated Rasmus Hojlund, which my immediate reaction would be good luck United. Would definitely be good luck United. Getting 40 million for Hojlund. Now, I understand why United would value him at 40 million, right? Because I know that from the amortization perspective, how much United have still got to pay for Rasmus Hojlund on the books. I think it's somewhere in the 30 to 40 million region. So in an ideal world, United would sell him for 40 million so that it doesn't go down as a loss on the books at any point. That's the Hojlund situation. That's what United would love to do. Let me see what the report says, right? Rasmus Hojlund has emerged as a target for Inter, who have made informal inquiries about signing him. United are not actively seeking to offload Hojlund, but both the club and player are understood to be aware of Inter's interest. So Inter definitely want him, right? This was already on the leaving board, and you can see down there, Inter are interested and made informal inquiries about signing him, so we're putting it in like a 2. The key down there at the bottom, by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just kind of allows you to follow how far along any transfer is. These are all the sales and exits, and these are the potential signings, all right? 1 is right at the very start. 5 is, well, it's right on the edge of being done. As it stands, Hojlund is down there as a 2. Cedo, you're saying it's posturing. I don't really think it's posturing. I think Inter are just looking. I know I said this last week. I expect Inter Milan to come in with a loan offer first. I don't expect them to offer cash. And this is the tricky part. Question to you, right? There's 2 options, hypothetical options here with Hojlund. 1, you sell him this summer and probably a lower price than you would get for Hojlund, but you get cash in the bank. And that's what United need this summer. We need cash, right? Or you loan him to Inter or another club, didn't really matter who. You loan him to another club and he goes on loan with an obligation maybe at the end of it, and he scores some goals, he increases his value, and then United sell him for more next summer. What do you think United will be able to do? In an ideal world, United would be able to sell him for as much as possible this summer to get the cash in. There is no way that we can afford the sort of summer with the ambitions that United clearly have got right now with Cunha and Mbeumo, with Gyokeres, and then other signings as well, because we need more than those, without actually selling players. I'm not talking about loaning Hojlund out with an obligation, loaning Rashford out again, loaning Antony out, loaning Sancho out. We need cash. Aiden saying loan Hojlund, then we sign Gyokeres and he comes back as an understudy. I think Chido's going to step into those boots in terms of being the understudy. Ola, you're saying sell now, and so is Adriano. Gyokeres wasn't scoring at his age. Keep him as he still has huge potential. Hey, look, Ben, while I would agree on that, also at this age, Gyokeres wasn't the primary striker for Manchester United. And the damage that has been done to Hojlund at Manchester United has now happened this season. I don't think that can be undone. If Hojlund was to stay next season, the only way that he would be able to get United fans on side would be to better what happened in the first season. It wouldn't be a case of Hojlund coming back next season and being able to score 16 goals and the United fans going, oh, there you go, that's better. No. United are going to have to be more cutthroat in how we approach players. I know that not every player's development is linear, etc., but United just won't now. Well, it shouldn't anyway. And this is how I hope we're going to approach this summer. If you're not developing within 2 years as a Manchester United player, shake your hand. We're going to put you on the transfer list. You might go, you might not. But after 2 years, this is where we're at. Hojlund would have to come back to United next season and score like 20, 25 Premier League goals and just fly. And even then, it probably wouldn't be enough for some United fans. I think some of those, the damage is done. James, you're saying a loan and an obligation on split payment terms allows a club can afford, takes a loss off our books, allowing us to spend. I think in an ideal world, United would want to sell Hojlund this summer. And Inter are clearly interested. Let's see how that continues to develop. I haven't really seen Hojlund being linked anywhere else. Hojlund was actually speaking about his future on international duty with Denmark, saying, look, I've got a contract until 2030. It's actually until 2028. Don't know where he got that from. So I expect to play for United next season. I'm looking forward to going on a summer vacation. Then I'm fully dedicated to the project that's underway. I know what the facts are, and that is that I have a contract with United until 2030. 2028. I expect to play there. So Hojlund won't be putting in a transfer request. Hojlund doesn't want to leave. Remember, Hojlund's a United fan. He doesn't want to leave. But being a fan is not enough. United will be trying to sell Hojlund. Even if the Telegraph are down here suggesting this, United are not actively looking to sell Hojlund. Yeah, we are, man. Yeah, we are. We're definitely going to be trying to sell him. It's whether or not we get the money we need. Matt saying, I'm pretty sure Hojlund knows his contract more than the media. Man United sign Hojlund. Official website. Rasmus Hojlund signs for Manchester United. He's joined United on a contract running until June 2028, with the option to extend by a further year if United as a club decide to extend it. He's just got his contract wrong. It's not until 2030. His contract runs out in 2028. So that's just a mistake, that's all. But no. He unfortunately doesn't know his contract better than the media. Moving on to someone else. Garnacho. As I said, I could have done done a video yesterday on this update from Fabrizio, saying that Alejandro Garnacho will leave Manchester United. Decision confirmed on the player and club side, set to part ways, which we kind of already knew. But this, Matt, you are really doubling down here. Yeah, because United's website has never got things wrong. Mate, you are doubling down on the fact that you are wrong. You are wrong, mate. Just accept it. Even when presented with facts. Like, literally, the official communication of the announcement of his signing, and you're still doing it. Man, some people are stubborn. Fair play. It's this bit here. Understand that staying in the Premier League is a serious option, with 3 clubs already very keen on Garnacho. You know what my reaction to that is? Don't sell him to the Prem. Just sell Garnacho outside of the Prem. And look, I'm also annoyed about that. The fact that team meeting, the conversations about with Garnacho and Amram that became public. It wasn't Amram who went. It just got leaked. It's annoying that didn't happen. I'd rather... The same goes with any United player that we sell. And we are going to, in the next few years, we are going to be selling some players who are going to go on and be decent players elsewhere. Rashford is one of them. I don't want to see Rashford playing for another Premier League club. Garnacho's another one. In the years to come, Garnacho's not going to be an awful player when he leaves United. Not at all. I think he's going to be a very good player. He just won't be in a United shirt. And from a selfish... I suppose it is selfish, right? I just don't want to see that. I just don't want to see that. I don't want to see Garnacho playing for Villa, who he's been linked with, or Chelsea, who, of course, have been linked with him as well. Seeing... This one's quite funny, man. This one's quite funny. It's just the idea that it really is Ten Hag has gone in and goes, I've got some ideas. Goalkeeper. Well, Mark Flecken, he's Dutch. Yeah, go on in. That bit of that. Anthony? Huh? Huh? Just saying. Garnacho? Huh? Huh? Look, if you had said to me 2 years ago about this man leaving, I would have been like pissed off and angry. Really. Would have been. I've still got to go through them. I've got so many bloody Stan Chow posters. I'm basically his biggest fanboy ever. But I've got so many posters, and I've got like a really cool bit of merch I've done on Garnacho, some other posters that we've done, just so much stuff around Garnacho. I thought he was going nowhere for a long time. I really, really did think so. But just things have changed. If United had tried to sell Garnacho 2 years ago, I would have been up in arms. But the fact is that opinion's completely changed for me now. I can only speak about my own perspective. I actually think Garnacho should be sold this summer. It's a big switch from my approach. Question in the comments, right? What do you think, financially, what do you think is going to be the biggest sale for United this summer? The potential options are Garnacho, Rashford, Hojlund, Anthony, Sancho, maybe. Not really an option. Onana, probably not too much of an option. It's one of those ones that I've mentioned there. Which one do you think we're going to get the most money for? Because it's probably going to be Garnacho, isn't it? It might well be the most significant and important sale that we do. Because remember that Garnacho is an academy product, so it goes down as 100% profit. The stupid loopholes that exist with the PSR rules, effectively, you get double money for sending an academy player. Hence why Chelsea and City have just baked that into their transfer strategy. I wouldn't say that's a reason why United are selling Garnacho. The reason that United are selling Garnacho is because he's completely fallen out with the manager, and he just showed that he's not emotionally mature enough, attitude-wise, to be part of the squad that Amorim is building. And that's what he really showed after the final. Lots of you are saying Garnacho will probably be the biggest sale. Julian, you're saying Anthony. Jasper, you're saying Rashford. Quite a few of you. No, Mainoo's not going anywhere. I absolutely stand by that. It's probably going to be Rashford or Garnacho. And of course, both Rashford and Garnacho will go down as academy sales. So, again, one to watch. And let's speak about some more too. Rashford there. Apparently, Rashford spending another season on loan has not been ruled out. And I really, really hope so. No, I really hope the opposite. I don't want United. If United have to loan Rashford out again and loan Anthony out again, that's so crap. There's no way that we should be loaning Anthony out again. I wouldn't say it's an easy sell. It's an easier sell after what he did at Real Betis. Rashford, well, he got injured towards the end of the season, and we know that the wages are going to be a massive sticking point, and the same goes for Jadon Sancho. That's why I'm against the idea of Victor Osimhen coming in on nuts wages. I know that it's different. I know that he would probably score goals and it might work out, but if it didn't, we would find ourselves in such a similar situation for a player that we cannot sell, for a player whose value is only going down. I hope United do not loan any of our players that we want to sell this summer. That includes Jadon Sancho. But again, like who wants him? Kind of more to the point, who wants to take the risk on Jadon Sancho? You would say maybe Dortmund, but then Dortmund, they're too busy spending their monies on other players, right? Joe Bellingham. Got the here we go over the weekend. He is going to Dortmund. 33 million euros, 5 million add-ons, and a 15% set-on clause. Dortmund are trying to repeat the Bellingham success. Job has massively developed with Sunderland. Big part of their promotion push into the Premier League, and now he's following in the footsteps of his brother. And good luck to him. But you've seen like Sky Sports saying that Dortmund are showing an interest in Sancho, and I look at that and go, yeah, all right, lads. Dortmund are a performative club in some players. Siegs is saying Sancho is an entitled player. I don't even think I can really blame it on the people around him. I think that would be too easy to just say, Sancho's not surrounded by the right people. He's an adult man. He makes his own decisions. And he even turned his back on what was his boyhood club in Chelsea, to the point where, despite the crapness of his last couple of years, still refuses to take a wage cut. It's insane. I think United are going to struggle like mad to move Sancho on. I really do. So the idea that we'll be able to sell him for a big amount of money, I think, is probably... it feels unrealistic. It feels unrealistic. I just don't see how any club, like in the same way that I don't see any club who can conceivably invest money into signing Luke Shaw this summer, because they know his injury record. And they know that, yeah, if it works out with Shaw, it could be great, but ultimately we might be left with a crock. So we'll take him on loan with an obligation, but there's no way that we can take that risk of signing Luke Shaw and giving you 10 mil for him. And for different reasons, I don't think anybody can really take the risk on Sancho. So if we're gonna loan anybody, it's probably going to be Jadon Sancho. I think we should be selling Rashford. We should be selling, if they're gonna leave, Rashford should be sold after the loan that happened last season, and Anthony should be sold after the loan that happened last season. Matt is saying, you guys are being delusional about Garnacho. Nobody buys him for more than 40 mil. I just think it's nuts that Garnacho would be valued at 40 mil. I really do. The age that he is, what is he, 20? Already, I think, way over 100 senior appearances for Manchester United, a senior player for the Argentina team, literally has the next 10 years ahead of him in his career. You don't just pay. This is how transfers work now. You don't just pay for the player that he is now. You pay a little bit of a premium and a percentage of what he could be in 2-3 years' time if he develops in the way that he can develop elsewhere. And I think he would develop elsewhere and he would become a better player. So there's no way that Garnacho should be sold at 40 mil. That's not his value. Whether United are able to get that, I don't quite know. But there's no way that his value is 40 mil. I completely disagree with that. Anyway, Onana. No word on Onana's exit just yet. No word on Onana's exit. Seemingly, I think the last word that we heard... Anyway, the last we heard was from Laurie Whitwell on The Athletic that United are prioritising another athletic number 8 midfielder and maybe a striker ahead of getting a new goalkeeper. That's where it's at. And then you see these two deals here. And again, am I just... and this happens every summer as well. Like if there's a position where United need a signing, you can't help but look around and go, well, he'd probably be good. He'd probably be good. He'd probably be good. He'd probably be good as well. He'd probably be good as well. You kind of look at everyone and go, well, actually, quite a lot of them would do a good job at United. 15 million euros for Mike Minen. Like, that would never have happened. Did he just have a bad season? I don't know. Because it just seems cheap. 15 million. And then you see what Arsenal are doing as well. They're signing Kepa for 5 mil. That has to go down as one of the biggest... How much did Chelsea pay for him originally? Was it 80 odd million? Have I completely made that up? I think I have. I don't even know what he's actually been. Where has he played? Has he been on loan places? I don't know idea. Arsenal are going to sign him for 5 mil as a backup. Seems pretty good as a 5 mil as a backup, if you ask me. But yeah, as it stands, no word on Onana and anything else. I think it was 80 mil that he was. Sell Onana and get Emi Martinez. Well, we already had that debate last week. We don't really need to have that debate anymore. Why would Milan sell him if he was that good? I think he's got 1 year left on his contract. And that's what you do. Like, clubs are willing to sell players, even if they're good, when they come to the point where it's the last summer they can get money for him, if he's not going to sign a new one. Someone's saying Ter Stegen down there. Yeah, Kepa was at Bournemouth. That was it. I've just completely forgotten what his career path is. But I tell you what, it's been a bit of a mad one since Chelsea. It really has. Either way, no word on United selling a goalkeeper just yet. And just to wrap up this, there's a chance that United could make some good money from sell-on clauses this summer. And this one's a really funny one because Mbeumo was on Newcastle's wanted list. They're not going to get him. Unlucky lads. Even more than that, Newcastle tried to sign Elanga last summer and they had a 40 mil bid rejected and he stayed. And now they're going back in for him. Whether it actually leads to him leaving, we don't quite know yet. But if hypothetically they go and sign Elanga for 50 mil. Now, if they got 40 mil rejected last summer and after the season that Forest have had, you would anticipate that they would have to pay more than 40 mil to get him out of Forest this summer. So let's say 50 mil for all intents and purposes. I believe that United have got a 20% sell-on clause on Elanga. So if that happens and Alvaro Carreras moves to Real Madrid, which is, I wouldn't say it's expected, but it could happen. We've got a 20% sell-on clause on anything above 5 mil. So if he goes for 50, that'll be around about 8 mil. Potential here that we get 10 mil for Elanga. Plus, on top of that, if Maxi Oyedele does leave Warsaw, I think, he's written there, United have got a 40% sell-on clause. Keen on selling for 6? No. Oh, that's annoying. He's only got a 6 mil release clause. It's annoying. Either way, that's another 3 mil. You get the point. United could get 20 odd million out of the transfers this summer of Oyedele, Elanga, and Alvaro Carreras. I could sign United another player. And that goes to show you the value of selling well and selling smart. And it's not just about how much you will get for X player. It's putting in a nice clause into the contract so that if he was to move on in the summer, and Elanga is a perfect example of that. Elanga now is not the player he was when he left United. There were fundamentals there, absolutely, but he went to a Nottingham Forest system which is really based on deep defending and bursting on the counter-attack, and they're very good at it. The perfect environment for Elanga, absolutely perfect environment, and he developed massively, and now could get a move to a Newcastle team who play in a similar sort of style. So selling well includes the sell-on clauses that you could have. So maybe 20 million-ish from Elanga leaving, or Elanga moving, and Oyedele, and Alvaro. It's good. Forgetting the 5 mil that we got from Chelsea for Sancho, and then you got the 8 mil that United are getting from the tour. You're starting to hear about money coming into the club, and we need it in. One day, I wonder if that money from the tour comes in cash. No idea. Absolutely no idea. Right, I'm going to wrap up for today, and I'm going to start working on the lunchtime video, which will be based around Gyokeres and Mbeumo and Cunha, and just a conversation about all three of those, right? Albano saying, Sam, are you not worried about our youth players that are being so good elsewhere and we are not using it? Mate, United's academy, there is no club in England that has contributed more players to the active football league than Manchester United. Whether it's like Ethan Galbraith or whether it's Anthony Elanga or the players at United, just the influence of United goes really deep into so far in the football league. Not all of those players can play for United. It's just not possible. So if they are going to leave, United have got to make sure that it's on terms which benefits us and comes back to benefit us, and we haven't done that before. So that's got to be a change. Darren, I was going to do that Diego Leon video, but I just sort of held back on it. I might do it as I was going to do it as far more of a high quality video, but I think it might just be worthy of a conversation that we have instead. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in today. If you can, please do drop a like on the video. Damien, I'll try my best to bring some reporting. I've covered everything there. I wouldn't say it was a busy weekend. That's why I didn't do a live on the weekend, but that's everything summed up. We're bang up to date. I'll be back here tomorrow. And I think this week, would I predict a here we go on Mbeumo? I think I probably would. We'll see. All right. Take it easy, everybody. Have a cracking day.